ketones are really interesting for the brain. Like a big part of why you already make ketones is because your brain uses a ton of ketones. And when you have a concussion, like you get hit in the head, you interfere with your brain's ability to do metabolism, to basically like generate oxygen, because you have like broken blood vessels and stuff. Like energy can't get in. But ketones rescue a lot of what would otherwise be an energy deficit. They just get in your brain really easily. And so people have been trying different ketogenic diet, or what if I have a bunch of MCT oil, that your body can kind of convert MCT oil into ketones. People have tried a lot of stuff like in and around what we're doing with Ketone-IQ. If we do our jobs right, then every single one of those blue tents on the side of the NFL sidelines will be pouring out ketones every time someone gets hit. Like, I think brain health is, I think, going to be the next frontier for just everyone in the next like 5 years.
Yeah. All right, guys, we got Michael from Ketone here today. Cheers, brother.
Cheers, bro.
Tastes good, man. So what did we just take? Can you explain what's going on here?
We just took a shot of pure ketones, and ketones are something your body already makes. A lot of people know about the ketogenic diet, right? Where if you don't eat any carbs, you force your body to make a lot of ketones. The truth is we all already have ketones flowing around our body, and they're this really powerful metabolic source of fuel that your brain especially loves. We were the first ever to figure out how to make it in a shot. We ferment it, make it in a shot, and it's just super fuel. It's high performance energy.
Yeah, you're going to disrupt the space because a lot of energy shots and drinks don't use the highest quality ingredients, right?
Yeah, they don't. A lot of it just, caffeine plus sucralose or sugar, just like photocopied. And then to that point, a lot of times it's got a lot of other weird stuff that gets you cracked out.
Right.
We're all about, I'm a marathon runner. I run 10 miles a day. I care a lot about high performance. And so I wanted to make the best, healthiest energy.
Yeah. I don't know what it is with coffee, but sometimes I get anxiety on it.
Yeah.
It's weird. Like my heart will start like racing.
Yeah. I think caffeine's going through a moment right now, kind of a negative moment where people are realizing it's not just this wonder drug. You can't just like have more and more caffeine. That like for a lot of people, it actually has some drawbacks. It can be anxiety inducing. It interferes with your sleep. A lot of people are wearing, 50 million Americans have a Oura or a Whoop or a Apple Watch.
Damn, 50 million?
50 million. And they're measuring their sleep score, and they're saying, hey, caffeine messes me up. And so I think caffeine got this like pass basically for the last, caffeine's been around for all of human history. And it's gotten this pass of like, okay, well, it's the go-to thing to keep you focused and dialed. But like a lot of people want a better boost, smarter form of energy.
Right.
They're turning to different kinds of mushrooms. Obviously what we're doing with Ketone-IQ, like different ways to get a better boost that are maybe more better for your long-term energy optimization than caffeine.
So no caffeine in the shot, right?
No caffeine in the shot. We have a version where we stack ketones and caffeine. If you want a little bit of caffeine, it's not too cracked out. It's just 100 milligrams of caffeine on top of the ketones. But our biggest seller is honestly just the straight ketone.
Yeah, it's so easy too. Just take a shot and you're good for how long on average?
Yeah, a few hours. If you're doing something active, you're running, you're going to burn it off sooner. A lot of people have it just at their desk and it lasts a few hours.
I'm big on mental performance, so I'll take this like before I film, and I kind of notice it. I don't know if it's placebo or not, but yeah, I definitely feel like there's something.
It's got this nice like dial-in feel. People have done intermittent fasting or a keto diet. You get this like mental sharpness. And it's a nice feeling.
I mean, for me as a podcaster, that's important. You want to be on top of your game, right? You don't want to be feeling like shit when you're going into an episode.
Yeah, and there's a ton of people who see their body that way, like mental athletes, people that see their body as an asset to optimize.
Yeah,
that's our people.
I mean, yeah, I played chess too, and something like this could give you that little 1% edge, you know?
Yeah. Did you see the Magnus interview?
Oh, I love that one. I was nerding out on that one on Rogan.
Yeah,
because he doesn't do pods.
No,
that was his like first big podcast.
Yeah, it's super interesting. It's
because
people think of him as he said about himself that he's like has a reputation for being like quote unquote lazy, but he's the GOAT.
I know, it's nuts.
It's actually really inspiring. I think the biggest takeaway for me from that one was like that obsession beats discipline, because he talked about all these other people that were like more disciplined than he was, but he was just obsessed. So he didn't need to be told to do his homework or whatever to like check his chess. He's just like thinking about. He's like, Joe, as I'm talking to you right now, I'm playing out chess moves in my head. He's just like obsessed, and obsession, I think, eats discipline for lunch any day.
Yeah, that one felt like a throwback Rogan episode to me. Like
classic, instant classic.
Yeah, instant classic. Shout out to Magnus, man. He is the best player in the world at chess, for people that don't know.
Yeah.
Do you play any chess?
I'm not that good. To me, it's one of those things where it's like slippery slope. Like I start getting into it, like chess.com, and then I'm just like not doing my job. Like I played a lot of games as a kid. Tons of StarCraft, Civilization, Counter-Strike, all that stuff. And then once I started becoming an adult, like to me, my Shopify store is my video game.
I love that.
Because I'm just trying to click on stuff and like make the number go up.
Yeah.
And so every time I start getting into chess or any other game, it's like it starts peeling my attention away.
Distraction.
So if I were, whatever, get FU money and retire and all that, maybe I'll get into chess. But for me right now, I just try to put all my calories into like the main video game, which is Shopify store.
All right. Shout out to today's sponsor, Ketone-IQ. Ketone-IQ is a clean energy shot that boosts mental and physical performance. It helps your body access ketones without needing a strict keto diet. There's no sugar, no caffeine, no crashes or jitters, and it supports recovery. It aids in reducing inflammation and accelerating muscle recovery after workouts, which is great for me as a basketball player. Also, it keeps me mentally sharp. I feel energized with no crash when I take this. I take this when I'm filming podcasts. As you guys know, I film a ton of podcasts back to back. This product's an absolute game changer, and I love that it's all natural. Shout out to Ketone-IQ. I actually had to delete the chess.com app a few days ago because I'm too addicted, dude. Because the thing is, if you lose, you don't want to end on a loss.
No.
So you got to keep playing till you win.
Yeah.
And sometimes you lose like 7 straight.
Yeah.
That's how chess is. It's a brutal sport.
It's so funny. It's like a mind virus.
Yeah.
In there.
And it takes years to actually get good at it.
Yeah.
I'm 2 years in and I'm only like a 1400, which is like still pretty bad.
Yeah.
Magnus is like 2800.
Yeah.
Crazy, dude. You mentioned fasting earlier. So you did a 7-day fast, which is the longest I've heard in a while.
Yeah. I did a 7-day fast. Early on when I was starting the company, I've always been really interested in performance optimization. I'm an engineer, studied engineering at Stanford. And when I got out, I was just really curious about the human body as a platform. We got all these devices and sensors that are more accessible than ever before. Like we're able to actually see what's going on in our body. And so I just started trying out a lot of stuff. Like, okay, what happens if you go and run 10 miles a day? What happens if you fast for 7 days? What happens if you take this nootropic, that thing? And I just started looking at myself as an N of 1 biohacker tester, trying these different things out. Fasting for 7 days was honestly, it was one of those things like it was hard, but it didn't get harder. Like you kind of hit this wall at day 2.
Was day 2 the hardest?
It was the hardest, and then you just kind of like if you ever been on like a long hike where like you get tired, but then like you still got to keep hiking, but like it doesn't necessarily get harder. It just like stays at like a 7 out of 10. It's like there's no point where I was like, oh my God, shoot me. Like this.
Right. You were on autopilot.
Yeah, I got 7. And sometimes it was swing. Actually, like you just felt completely fine, like zero pain.
Damn.
Zero. You just feel based. You just feel like I kept thinking about how like Plato would have his students fast because it made them mentally sharper and they could memorize more of the like scripts and stuff that they were working on. I felt like this really based, like level focus mode when I was fasting. And that was part of what actually inspired the idea of making a pure ketone. Because one of the things that happens when you fast is that your body starts making a lot of ketones.
Yeah.
And so I started saying, okay, well, what if you could get access to this magical molecule without having to fast for 7 days or do a keto diet or put butter in your coffee and hope that turns into ketones? And so it was really informative to me just as an entrepreneur. Like right now, it's all obvious in hindsight, but early days, I was just trying stuff out. And it's like, okay, what could be interesting here? And then now it's like...
Well, you solved a major problem because you said no one was able to get it in liquid form before, right?
Yeah, no one had done this, like this level, like purity at this cost, the ability to just directly... You drink this, you're in ketosis in 15 minutes.
Wow, it's that quick.
Yeah.
Holy crap. Because if you fast, how long would that take to get to ketosis?
Like 2-3 days.
Wow. And that's the reason people fast, basically, right? Is to get to that point.
Yeah, to get the ketones flowing, and then you just feel really locked in. And
damn,
so it's cool. Like the energy drink market is huge. It's like an $85 billion market. And I don't know if you saw, like Alani Nu just got bought by Celsius for like $1.8 billion. And
Ghost got bought in Vegas.
Yeah, Ghost got bought by Keurig Dr. Pepper, bought them up for another
400, right? Or was it more?
I think they bought like a chunk of the company for like 400 or 600 mil, but the implied value of the whole company was billions.
Damn.
So it's a beefy market. Everyone wants energy. It's the most important problem on the face of the planet, because if you can help people with better energy, you can help them solve all the other problems in their life.
100%. Most people wake up feeling like terrible, right?
Oh yeah. Most people don't feel good. We're all trying to optimize our energy because once you can optimize your energy, it's like, oh, you can be better at your job, you can be a better parent, you can be better at this, that, better grades. So energy is the most important thing. It's a massive, like super lucrative market, and it's growing. And I'm just stoked. We're here bringing something new to the market. I'm just, as an entrepreneur, I'm fired up. There's a lot of ways to make money as an entrepreneur. Like some people make, the Jonas Brothers popcorn flavor. And I don't want to like knock anyone. There's a lot of ways to make money in the world. But for me, it was really important to really invent something. Like I think America needs more actual inventors, like making a new thing that didn't already exist.
Right.
not just like a different flavor of what I already did exist. Like so to me, I've just been stoked, and it's really hard in the early days because no one in the early days no one knew what a ketone was, and now we're working with John Jones, we're working with the U.S. military, we're working with some like big names.
Crazy.
And so it's interesting because I spent a few years, honestly, dude, like this felt like a science fair project.
Damn.
I was just like in the dark, just me and my co-founders like grind. And now it's like cool. Now it's like, I got flown out to France last year. I was at the Tour de France because a lot of the one of the best teams in the Tour de France is big into Ketone-IQ. Like,
wow,
it's gotten really fun. If I had any message to share with entrepreneurs out there, it's like if you're in the dark for like several years, you might actually be on the right track. You just got to really believe in what you're doing. And then at some point you see it kind of flip over and it's like, oh, wow, you're that person that invented that thing. It's like
the education caught up. I feel like that's with mushrooms. That's going to be the next thing once that's legal. If you were there for years before, same with AI, right? People that were doing AI for years.
Dude, people bought NVIDIA like 5 years ago. Look mad smart right now.
Yeah, they're geniuses. So this thing didn't take off right away.
Yeah, a few things do, right? You always hear that like 7-year overnight success. Like some things do for sure. Like some things you just hit lightning in a pan and boom, go. But yeah, we've been working on this and just the early days. And in 2019, the way I really knew that we were onto something was in 2019, we got a $6 million contract with the Department of Defense to do the biggest ever R&D on ketones as high performance energy for special operators. And we had to go and actually like spend that money on R&D. It wasn't like I went and bought a freaking Porsche. Like, we got the money and it was like, all right, now you got to do $6 million worth of research. So we did all this stuff with like hypoxia, which is like, like in Batman Bane, like that mask, like you see people exercising with one of those. We did a ton of research on that and like low oxygen, measuring different biomarkers, seeing how people perform at stress. And then, okay, what if you give them ketones versus what if you give them a placebo? And so we were able to really see some amazing results. And that was what kicked this all off. And there was still a lot of grind for several years and then really like brought the technology out in 2022.
Yeah.
So for a little while, it was really this like research kind of hypothesis and early signals. Like it's always really good as an entrepreneur if like special forces are buying, and at the time it cost $30. You got special forces buying your stuff for $30, like you might be onto something.
Damn, one shot was 30.
One shot was $30. You got to figure it out. It's probably not going to go mainstream if it's $30 a shot, but like if you can get it going, it's always just get it going. Like the first computer was like the size of, you've seen those photos.
Yeah.
Right? Like,
it's the size of a room.
Yeah, it's the size of a room. It's the size of a U-Haul, and then like now you got that much in your pocket. So early innovations often start like too big, too expensive, too hard to use, all that stuff. But if you can find a market for that and then slowly like sand down the friction on it, then you will probably have something that's going to be really good and broader mainstream.
100%. I love that. How'd you get that contract? Was it luck or did you really pursue that?
I mean, you know how it is, like luck, hard work. It's like
everything, right?
I think the harder you work in life, the more lotto tickets you get.
Yeah. And
you can't determine your success on any one lotto ticket, but like if you work hard and get more lotto tickets, you're like it's bound to click. So yeah, we had Andreesen Horowitz, like Mark Andreessen. He's one of the smartest guys in Silicon Valley. He was one of our early investors. Wow. He had some connectivity into Department of Defense. We had just a few different like lines in through our networks and through some investors, and then
you got some interesting investors I saw on the site. Jake Paul, right? Joe Montana.
Joe Montana's an investor. We got some really cool people on the table.
That's smart that you just didn't take money. You took like strategic money.
Yeah. There's a lot of just it sounds crazy to say because it's a lot of people are tight for cash, but like there's actually a lot of money in the world. There's a lot of capital out there. There's a lot of rich people who want to put their money into something that's going to multiply. And what's actually rare in the world is good businesses, good assets that you can put, $1 million into and see it return as $2 million. Or put $100 million and see it come out as $2 million.
Super rare.
Yeah. So I would say for any entrepreneurs out there, like if you actually have a good idea, there's actually a lot of capital out there. If you have something like real, meaningful, legit. And then if you're really good as an entrepreneur, like you should be choosy about who you bring in. Cause so any old person can write a big check, but you want like some, people that are actually into your brand, who aren't just looking at you as like an asset that's going to double their money, but someone who can, be actually helping to popularize it. So it's like cool stamp of approval, intros to other cool people, intros to retailers.
Right.
You want someone who can actually help carry the water with you.
Absolutely. Yeah. I heard the VC space is struggling right now, actually.
Yeah, I mean, it's a tough market. It's tough to find good companies. A lot of people got burned because there was that big bubble in the middle of COVID.
Right.
Everyone was like...
The tech bubble, right?
Yeah. like crypto and all these like crypto enablement platforms.
Yeah, Web3 flopped.
Yeah. So a lot of people like they raised a whole ass fund, invested into a bunch of Web3 stuff at like peak, it all cratered.
Yeah.
And now a lot of those people are like
Wrecked. OpenSea got like a $5 billion valuation or something crazy.
Yeah, and I don't think they're back anywhere near that.
Nah, NFTs kind of tanked, you know? Yeah, and crypto's down bad right now. Crypto is so volatile, though.
Yeah, crypto's been a head scratcher for me because it's like I own some.
Yeah.
I think most people,
At this point, do, right? Yeah.
And it's been weird to me because I thought it was supposed to be more like of a hedge against the economy, but it really seems like it goes up and down with the economy. So it's like, what's the point?
Yeah.
But, I'll still hold, but it's like.
If you're looking at it daily, it's not a fun thing to hold.
No, yeah.
How important is cardio?
Dude, cardio is so important. Cardio is the longevity drug. And I think anyone who's not doing cardio is honestly just coping. Like, cardio is so freaking important. There was this study published in the New England Journal of Medicine where they showed that they measured VO2 max, which is the measure of basically how good your cardio is. Yeah. It's like how much oxygen you can take at your maximum, which is a mark for how healthy is your heart, how healthy is your lungs, how healthy are your blood vessels. Basically, they said in the top third of cardio fitness people versus the bottom third, you're 45% less likely to die from all-cause mortality if you're in the top third of VO2 max.
Damn.
And so literally, cardio is the longevity drug. It's really funny, Sean, because you see a lot of different, influencer types out there that are doing like, oh, I'm measuring my nighttime boners and like a biomarker. And it's like, you're just inventing something. Like VO2 max is what scientists have been looking at for 50 plus years as the marker for cardiovascular health. And that's the thing to actually optimize for. If you can optimize that, that is the longevity drug. All these other things, it's like, dude, okay, you can measure your overnight boners and then like take some Cialis to optimize your nighttime boners. It's like you're optimizing the wrong thing. Like that, having a better nighttime boner isn't what makes you live longer. It's like it correlates because if you have better blood flow and better functioning overall body system, you're gonna have better nighttime boners. But it's like you can't optimize for. It's like if you see like a bunch of fast cars and they're all red, and then you go paint your car red. It's like that's not what actually makes your car red. And so I think there's been this interesting, pendulum swing away from cardio, and it's the obvious longevity drug. I think literally the reason more people don't do more cardio is it's just hard.
Yeah, people are lazy.
Yeah,
people want a pill. People want to just maybe lift and then go in the sauna.
Yeah.
But yeah, cardio is huge, man. I took a VO2 max test and my results were terrible.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, my chronological age was higher than my biological age, so I was like, damn.
Do you run at all?
I started running more, playing basketball more, and saunaing more. But yeah, I've heard from reputable people that VO2 max test is one of the most important metrics for health.
Yeah, it's how much oxygen can your body take in at its maximum level of exertion. And so it just means, how healthy is your whole system, your heart, your lungs, your blood vessels, all that stuff. And that correlates with overall just whole body health. So.
Yeah. Now you're out here running marathons, though.
Yeah,
you're taking it extreme.
Yeah, I run 10 miles a day. I try to run fast for a marathon too. I'm not just trying to finish it. So.
240 is really fast.
Yeah, it's like 6:0 something per mile, 6:08.
That's crazy.
I'm trying to get under 6. I'm trying to really get even faster. And yeah, it's fun. I don't think you got to do my level of cardio to be like normal fit person, but I just really love it. It's like a fun game for me. I'm addicted to it. It's like really fun. But I do think in general, a lot of people overlook cardio. A lot of people when we think about fitness, it's like, okay, you want to be really jacked. But honestly, I think a couple of things on that. I think longevity is not the same as being jacked. And I also think a lot of guys that get super jacked, a lot of times it's it ends up being for the dudes.
Oh, for sure.
You talk to most women, they care about fitness up to a point, but once you're Chris Bumstead level, super swole,
women don't like that.
That's for the dudes.
No.
I know a lot of these guys. I'll ask what's the craziest DM you've gotten from a chick? They're like, bro, it's 90% dudes. it's always dudes. And no, it's all love. If you're into that, by all means get into that. But I would say for just general fitness and just being who's the hottest guy in America right now is Timothy Chalamet.
Chalamet, yeah.
Right?
We'll love him.
Yeah, ladies love him. So I would say don't put so much pressure on yourself to have to be super jacked and that's what it takes to be attractive. Get some cardio in there too. It's gonna help you live longer. You'll feel amazing. And yeah, I think there's let's make running cool again.
Absolutely. Is it true 88% of Americans are unhealthy?
Yes. Yeah, Americans are massively metabolically unhealthy. Combination of stagnants, we don't move around enough, and we just eat a lot of the wrong stuff. We eat hyper-processed stuff. The more really processed food, especially processed carbohydrates that you eat, you're just spiking your blood glucose all day long. If you're not moving, if you combine that factor with not moving, then what your body does when you have a lot of sugar in your system is you really release a lot of insulin. And then you need insulin to process the sugar. The insulin stops working. If you keep spiking it again, 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 you keep eating sugar, you go get a Slurpee, don't exercise, go get a Kit Kat bar, don't exercise. You keep doing that, your insulin just stops working. And then you you get fat, and you have low energy, and you're just considered metabolically you're considered metabolically unhealthy at that point. And so, yeah, there's epidemic. 88% of people in America are metabolically unhealthy, meaning they're diabetic or pre-diabetic. When it's just to connect the concepts there, like once your insulin stops working, that's just diabetes. Like that's insane. That's what diabetes is.
Wow. That's so crazy, man. 88%, like that's so high.
It's crazy. You ever see those videos from like the 40s, 50s where like everyone was super jacked?
Yeah, on the beach.
Yeah. Like I saw some video of like when we went to space, and like it was a video of the people watching the spaceship, and it's just like normal people having a picnic out in Fort Lauderdale or whatever, watching the spaceship, and like everyone just looks healthy. And like, why? Like, we lost something?
Yeah.
Like, we lost some, like, I guess, sense of, pride, or just the way that our society is, or something where we're not in shape. I think that's why a lot of people like RFK, whether they love his policies or pro-vax, anti-vax, whatever. Is like, I think you look at RFK and you're like, okay, that guy is like fit. He actually just cares about his body in a way that a lot of Americans used to. Like, I'm more inclined to listen to that person than like a totally out of shape
100%.
like doctor lady. I don't know. Could you go to a doctor that was obese?
No. I remember having gym teachers in school that were fat. Like, what is that?
Yeah.
Why are you teaching gym?
Yeah. I like do as I say, not as I do. Like what?
Yeah. Gym teachers, there should be a weight requirement for gym teachers.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
We got to make that a thing, RFK.
Yeah. I'm sure I mean, that's the thing. He's a little crazy. I don't agree with him on 100% stuff, but I think directionally he's trying to say, yo, let's like just be healthier, move around more, eat better. Like, let's not just like throw pharmaceuticals down everyone's throat.
For real. Are you on the methylene blue wave?
I'm not on it personally. I think methylene blue is probably reasonable. I think it's like, yeah. Have you tried it?
I tried it once because I was flying. He said it would help because I get sick when I fly sometimes.
Yeah.
So I took it and I didn't get sick. So
cool.
Only one experience. I don't know if that's a judge all be all, but you know, he's drinking it every day.
Yeah.
Biohacking is like, you could take it extreme.
For sure.
Like you could take 100 supplements a day, and I think that's pretty crazy.
Yeah. You can definitely, there's a diminishing returns for most people. Like most people don't want to take more than like, what, 5?
5, yeah 5, 10 max.
You take some omega-3s, take some magnesium for sleep.
Vitamin D3.
Yeah. Take a few things, and you're good. I think most people don't want to be tracking like a bunch of stuff. It just gets complicated. At a certain point, like all the metrics and markers and blood tests, it's just data porn.
Yeah.
Like you're just getting info, but like for the sake of info. Like what are you actually doing? I think it's been cool to see the evolving user experience around the wearables where people are really honing in on a few things, like sleep score is important.
Yeah, I have an 8 sleep.
Yeah. And that tells you your
sleep score and your HRV.
Yeah, dude, Mateo there is a genius. He's actually an investor in my company.
Oh,
yeah.
Small world.
Yeah, Mateo is their CEO, founder guy. He's super sharp. So they sent over a bunch of mattresses to Doge.
Oh, really?
Apparently all the, like, you know how like the whole meme with the Doge?
They like sleep, right?
Yeah, they're 3-year-olds like not sleeping. So
I heard there's a teenager now that's reviewing the financial information.
Yeah, it's funny. It's
Elon's good at finding these young geniuses.
Yeah, he finds like young,
and people were being ageist towards these guys. I saw.
Yeah. A lot of people are like, "Oh man, they're like young whiz kids. What do they know?" And,
yeah,
you know, it's like, well,
that's not a good reason, in my opinion.
I don't think. I think it's ageist or ad hominem just to attack someone like strictly on age.
Yeah, because you and I are young founders.
Yeah, and a lot of what they're doing is like database work. It's like you have a bunch of crazy, unstructured, messy data that like no one's ever. When was the last time you had like best in class computer science people like crunching through the numbers?
Yeah, it's a younger job for sure.
Yeah, and it's like, I don't know. I think people want to like conflate a lot. It's like, I think there are serious policy questions. I'm not saying I agree with everything going on. I think there's a lot of stuff that like I think just personal politics. I think like foreign aid is a good idea. I think that like if you invest more in like books versus bombs to like spread American influence in the world, that's probably a good thing. So I don't necessarily agree that like, I think we overcut on some of the aid just on my personal belief on things, but in general, like it's a good idea to have like smart number muncher type people running the actual database work so that we even know what's going on, so that the people in charge of policy have an informed way of looking at what's going on. And then just the transparency, like the ability to just see. Like, I think we all viscerally know when you go to the post office or the DMV, that shit sucks.
Yes, ass.
And you know that like that probably extends to other parts of the government. So like sunlight is the best disinfectant. I'm a believer in, like, I do think that like government has a role and like good government is good.
Yeah.
I'm not a guy that says like, okay, compress it all down, burn it all down, like really tiny government is the way. That's not what I believe, but I do think you need an effective government. There needs to be accountability. I'm supportive of trimming all the fat, all the weird waste. Like, I don't think we need to be putting on like, random, I don't know, it's just some crazy stuff that the Doge has surfaced that we were putting our money towards.
The transparency has been awesome because we've never seen where the money goes.
Yeah.
Ever.
I think it's so American, like, that we just want to know where's our tax dollars going. It's Boston Tea Party, right? It's like, where's our taxes going?
Yeah. I mean, we're spending, a lot of money on taxes. 40%. Your state's 50%, right?
California's nuts.
52%.
Yeah.
So you're spending more than you make on taxes.
Yeah. People got to be, I think, stomping their feet on like, what's it going to?
Yeah.
And again, I think taxes that make society better are good. I think, something like public schools, that whether you have a kid or not a kid, like a better public school system, probably better for society, is my personal belief. Like, I do think like taxes are helpful to a degree to help society, and then we all win. Like better schools, okay, better, smarter workforce, better GDP. China doesn't peel out ahead. Like, good thing to do there. But like, let's make sure it's actually going where we think it's even going.
Facts.
Like, even if you are a like pro, common good, pro government should do stuff person, you should still want accountability.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not opposed to taxes if it was being used correctly.
Yes.
Which it hasn't been.
Yeah.
That's why people hate taxes.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't mind if it was going towards great things.
Yeah.
I want good schools.
Yeah. I think we want American exceptionalism. We want American industry to thrive. We want to be leaders in the world. And so we need to, I think it was on a scary course where like, if things are plateauing and then like we're just racking up debt and it's not clear where that stuff's going. It's,
I'd love to see how Cali spends their money. The homelessness budget didn't do much.
Yeah, dude. I don't know. California. I look at it honestly as like a California. It's just it's. I think the nicest place to live, coastal California.
It's by far the nicest weather-wise. Yeah.
Yeah, perfect weather year round. Just super nice. It's like just good place.
And the networking's great. It's good for business.
Yeah, it's huge. Like, I lived in Silicon Valley for a while, and now I live in LA. Like, I got no complaints on lifestyle. This is awesome. I look at like my co-founder lives in Miami. It's, plus or minus. I don't know. You got some crazy.
I got Miami over LA.
Well, it's like, I don't know. I like not having to evacuate for hurricanes or like.
Right.
Miami's just crazy. You just see some there's like Florida in general. It's just like you'll just see an alligator.
Yeah.
You just got some crazy bugs, some crazy mosquitoes, crazy humidity. You'll just like walk around the block and get sweaty. I'm not trying to yuck Miami's. It's all good. I just think like California is on its own a really like special place, and I think that they kind of. I think they kind of take advantage of that because like they know that because it's a lot of people consider it the best place to live, that like they're willing to pay more taxes.
Yep.
But I think a lot of people are upset now because I think we just had these fires.
Yeah.
I got a daughter. Half my daughter's school burned down.
Holy crap.
In the wildfires. Like, a lot of people are displaced. Like, I had another friend who he owned his house outright, and then the insurance company like in September just pulled his coverage. Or like, yo, it's too high risk, and the state won't let us raise your insurance rate, so we got to be out. He probably would have said yes to like a little bit more expensive insurance, but the state has some rules where the insurance company can't raise. It's supposed to protect consumers, but it has the opposite effect.
So he had no insurance?
He had no insurance, and owned his house outright. So it's a real problem. Real people got affected, and I think there's going to be a reckoning. I definitely
there has to be, because that's millions of dollars. There's probably like hundreds of families that happen to too.
Yeah, it's bad. So
that's
hopefully it corrects out in California, because it is an awesome place. I know it's got its haters, this is that, but like it's beautiful, and I think I hope it.
I mean, I'm there once a month because it's so good for business. The food's amazing.
Yeah,
like
the food's good, the weather's good, the scene's good. It's just like
just living there though with the politics for me is tough.
Yeah, it's definitely a different place.
Yeah, it's different. What's next for Ketone-IQ? Anything fun planned?
Yeah, we got some big launches. We just launched nationwide into Vitamin Shop. That's
nice.
Fun. We're working on a couple other ones.
Let's get you in Costco.
Yeah, that'd be huge.
That'd be huge.
Yeah, I love Costco.
I'll hit up the Big Justice guy. You seen that?
Yeah.
Yeah. He's coming on the podcast.
Okay, cool.
I feel like they have some pull at Costco these days.
Yeah,
they blew them up, right?
Yeah, we'd love to connect. Okay. Yeah, working on some big retailers. We've been doing a lot of work with John Jones.
Yeah, I saw
UFC
that.
champ.
So he takes this before fights?
Yeah.
Wow.
He's cool.
That's the GOAT right there.
Yeah, no, truly. And he's awesome. He's like, I've gotten to spend some good time together. He's total gentle giant.
He's one of the most misunderstood athletes of all time.
Once you're around him, he's just like so based. Like,
Yeah.
he's actually just very wise and like mission driven and kind. And like, I think he's been through some ups and downs, no doubt. Like, he's been through some of it. I think if you were 19 years old and like GOAT at anything, like he was actually the UFC heavyweight champ at age 19,
which is crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy. And he's held on to that he's in his 30s.
20 years, right?
Yeah, like, and I don't think you get good at fighting by having like a normal upbringing too, by the way. I think that you go through some shit and that's why you got that dog in you.
You need an edge. And
I think, but net of all of that, like, I think at this point he's very self-aware of like who he is, what he's been through, and what his mission is. Very like God-oriented, very there for his kids, very much just thinking about like he's still fighting. Like, he still has fights left in him, and he's also thinking about like, what's next. Because you look at people like Shaq or Martha Stewart or these people that have had like a kind of second, third act in their life. And so he's, I think, really smartly thinking ahead. Like, he doesn't just want to be one of those like former athlete kind of washed up people. He's like shooting some movies. We're doing a lot of stuff together. He's really thinking seriously about his business career. So it's really cool to see him morphing his like GOAT energy inside the octagon into like broader everyday life. But I also don't think he's done with the octagon.
I think he'll have a couple more, and I think he'll probably end up making more money outside of the ring.
Yes.
I think he'll invest in the right things, and
I think he plays his cards right. He'll be doing that. And so, yeah, we're doing a lot together. We have a bunch of research going on. We just submitted a big contract, another one with the Department of Defense with the Navy Health Research Center for ketones and traumatic brain injury. So
wow.
Ketones are really interesting for the brain. Like, a big part of why you already make ketones is because your brain uses a ton of ketones. And when you have a concussion, when you get hit in the head, you interfere with your brain's ability to do metabolism, to basically like generate oxygen, because you have like broken blood vessels and stuff. Like, energy can't get in. The ketones rescue a lot of what would otherwise be an energy deficit. They just get in your brain really easily. And so people have been trying different things, ketogenic diet, or what if I have a bunch of MCT oil, that your body can kind of convert MCT oil into ketones. People have tried a lot of stuff like in and around what we're doing with Ketone-IQ. And so we're really excited to be doing actual Ketone-IQ after a concussion, after TBI, and seeing some of the results there, not just like for one time, but also for people who've had chronic TBI, seeing how ketones can help there. So it's an exciting time for sure.
That's really exciting. These veterans need something like that, man.
Yeah, I'm big on brain health. I think if we do our jobs right, then every single one of those blue tents on the side of NFL sidelines will be pouring out ketones every time someone gets hit. Like, I think brain health is, I think, going to be the next frontier for just everyone in the next like 5 years.
Yeah. It's exciting now because I think growing up, we thought once you had concussions, it was permanent.
Yeah.
And you couldn't fix it.
Right.
But now there's some new stuff coming, right?
Yeah. That different ketones are helpful. People have seen different things with different
oxygen.
Yeah. Hyperbaric oxygen therapy. People have seen different things with different types of mushrooms that you're able to basically stimulate neural activity and redevelop different pathways that previously people thought were compromised. So it's exciting.
Yeah, man. Because some of these fighters, seeing them get older, it's tough.
It's tough. And I think especially in a world where like AI is coming up and all that, like you gotta have an edge. Like, you gotta be able to like connect the dots, because a lot of the like basic level stuff is going to get taken over by a robot.
100%. It already started.
It's already, yeah. Going. Like, I use AI for like a ton of stuff.
I use it daily.
Yeah, constantly.
Yeah, whenever I travel, I use it for restaurants.
Yeah, dude, I have ChatGPT on my like bottom on my dock. Like,
oh, you could do that?
Like on my.
You got to show me how to do that.
Like on the.
So you could just search on your homepage.
Like on the bottom. Wow. I just use it that much.
Oh, on the bottom. Okay.
Yeah. Like, it's just. Like, I got, like,
so it's one of your
phone,
4
text, notes, chat. It's one of my top 4.
Yeah.
It's my starting lineup.
What do you use it mainly for?
Man, I use it for everything. I'll use it for like. I mean, if I want to read something really quickly, I'll just like load it into ChatGPT and be like, "Yo, give me the 5 points."
Damn.
And I'll use it for making little scripts, little like Twitter threads, this and that, social media scripts. I'll use it for like job interviews. Like, yo, I want to assess this candidate. Here's their LinkedIn. Here's what I need to assess them for.
Wow.
I'll upload their LinkedIn and the job description and be like, okay, give me some questions. It's never going to do the perfect full job, but it gets you like 70% there. The biggest thing for me is it solves that blank page thing. Like you don't have that writer's block of like, oh gosh, where do I start? You get something like decent, then you can immediately, for me, I just immediately am in there. Oh, yeah, like number 3 out of 4, not that good. Let me brush it up.
Makes
but
sense,
it's like,
yeah.
it gets the ball rolling in a really positive way. I got an AI thing. It looks at my, you know, that thing in Doge, or Elon Musk sent that email. What are the 5 things you did this week?
Yeah.
So I've been doing that at my company for like 5 years.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Where every Friday we have our all hands and we open up a Notion doc.
Yeah.
And everyone has their name there, and they got to like write in, what'd you do this week? And this wasn't controversial at all. We've been doing it forever. Like we're a fully remote culture. We're not all in the office together. So just every Friday we get together, everyone writes in what are the top, 3, 4, 5 things you did this week. I actually made a little AI script that does that. There's this little tool called Lindy where basically it pulls from my emails, pulls from my calendars, and writes my top things I did this week.
No way.
And again, it's not all the way 100% perfect, but it's like I did today. It was like 4 out of 5.
Wow.
Good. And I just like brushed up the other one. And so I'm starting to see all these areas that it's like I want everyone on my team, instead of their next hire, the next hire, I want them to think about like what AI you could use instead. Like how do you take whatever problem you're trying to solve and like use an AI for it? I don't think that people are going to get replaced by AI, but I think people are going to get replaced by people that can use AI.
I see that, yeah.
So I think there's job security as long as you're like on top of it. It's like if the internet comes and there's email and Excel files and all that, like the past generation, like whatever happened 20, 30 years ago, like if that happened and you were just stuck on like fax machines and handwritten notes, like you're gone, you're dead. Like there's no job. But if you can adapt to the new tools, I think there is job security. You just got to be plastic with it. You got to be like able to morph around the tools, be able to use the tools. There's, I think, always going to be the need for that human operator to stitch things together, but you got to be like active in that spot.
Agreed. Yeah, you got to embrace it. I know a lot of people are opposed, but you should at least learn how to use it.
I don't even get that point. Like, how do you be opposed? It's like being opposed to the rising tide in the ocean. Like, there's some things that are just like inevitable. Like, it doesn't matter your opinion about it. Like, the tide is going to rise. Like, clearly AI is having a moment. Like, it's one of those things. I just wonder, like, what, it's not productive to have an opinion. It's like when it's raining out. Like, I don't feel mad or sad or happy or anything. It just is.
Yeah.
Like, wear an umbrella, dance in a puddle, like, enjoy it. Like, you might as well enjoy it. You might as well, like, take advantage of what objective reality actually is.
Yeah.
Like, if you see it right, go buy some NVIDIA and go learn some tools.
That's
like,
the entrepreneur in you.
Yeah, just like, it's not productive to have a strong opinion about it. It's just like, see that it's happening and do something about it, or don't, or sit it out. But like, being anti, like, what? No one cares. The universe doesn't care if you don't like AI.
Yeah.
Like, it's gonna clearly it's like saying that you don't like freaking Microsoft Excel. Like, okay, you want to go back to graph paper and pencil and paper? Like that.
It's inevitable. There's gonna be AI girlfriends. Have you seen that?
Yeah, that's
the robots.
Yeah.
So they're saying 30 to 40% of the market will be dating those in like 20 years.
Yeah, like that movie Her.
Yeah. That was a good one.
Yeah.
That was the Megan Fox one, right?
Scarlett Johansson.
Oh, was it Scarlett? Okay, I might be thinking of something else.
So she never comes on screen. It's always just her voice, and then it's Joaquin Phoenix. I can never say his name.
Joaquin Phoenix.
Joaquin Phoenix is on. He falls in love with her. It's voiced by Scarlett Johansson, but you never see her face because
interesting
computer. Yeah, that's gonna be crazy. What do you think of that? Like
that's some Black Mirror shit, bro. That shit scares me.
I mean, I think it's still. I think what's gonna happen is, across the board, the premium thing is always going to be the human to human connection. Like, you could have a robot make your sushi, or you could go to like the 5-star restaurant and have like an actual like inventive human person doing it.
Yeah.
I think the same thing with girlfriends, the same thing with everything. Like, you can get the robot version that's probably like 80-20. It's probably like almost as good and like way cheaper. But I think you're always going to have, I think what's going to happen is like the human to human stuff is always going to be the premium and the stuff that people really, really want. I think you're going to be able to go and get like a really nice steak, really nice sushi, really nice whatever you want made by a robot in like a few years, maybe sooner than we even think. But I think that the like ultra high, and I think if you're going to go pay $500 for a meal, that's going to be human, and that's going to be part of the like premium aspect of it, the
I can see that
aspect of it. And I think just across the whole board, I think people are still going to want to watch sports. I actually think you're still going to want to watch, like, if we're surrounded by robots all day, robots doing all this shit, you're like, it's gonna be such a breath of fresh air to go to an NBA game and see like human to human doing something. Like, do you think people would want to watch like robot teams playing basketball? It's just
Not yet.
stupid.
Not yet. Maybe way in the future.
Yeah, and at that point, it's just like I guess you're watching. You're like a fan of the programmer of the robot.
Yeah.
You're like,
There are battle bots out here. Have you seen that?
that's true.
Yeah, they battle each other.
It is kind of cool.
That's cool. Yeah, I went in. It was cool.
Because you get to see like the kind of inventiveness but it's its own separate thing. Like,
Yeah.
I don't think that's taking market share from
No.
NBA.
And humans are inventing those too.
Yeah, it has like that human feel to it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think like the human to human stuff is always going to be there as like the premium.
I agree.
The nicest stuff, the most expensive stuff is going to be the human touch.
Yeah. For food, I prefer human, I think, because I think there's a spiritual component to making food.
Interesting.
I think there's like an energy component.
Whoa.
Yeah. I don't know if you're spiritual at all, but like when someone you love makes the food, it just tastes better, dude.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, there's always something that feels like the vibes aren't totally there when you get takeout.
Yeah.
It's
No,
good. It
it's
can be
not.
yummy, but it's like,
It doesn't taste as good as when you sit in the same restaurant, right?
yeah.
Yeah, because they're making it to go.
There's something to that. Apparently, there's like, even just right after you cook food, if you eat it immediately, you get more of the nutrients from it.
Really?
Yeah. Then
Oh,
there's
wow.
I forget what it's called. This Japanese like stone grill thing where you like grill it right there and you eat it. And apparently, it's way better for you. And like cavemen used to always just like, you grill it at the fire and you eat it right away. You weren't
Right.
like, it wasn't like sitting in some Uber for 45 minutes.
Yeah, some styrofoam box.
Yeah. Because I believe it. I think having like that time to like with someone that you love and like making a meal together. I agree. I think that's still going to be. I don't think you're going to be able to replace it. I think it'll be able to replace like remember Soylent, like the meal in a bottle.
Yeah,
I think, like
Soylent.
that will get better. I think like the cheap robot meal will get better and better. But I think the premium, like best in class experience is always going to be like handmade stuff with people that you have kinship with.
Agreed. 100%. Michael, it's been awesome, man. Where can people find Ketone and keep up with you?
Yeah, so you can check us out. We're on Instagram at Ketone. I'm at Michael D. Brandt. I love hearing from people, whether entrepreneurs, athletes, just curious people. I love hearing from people. So yeah, definitely say it.
And check out the pod, too.
Oh yeah, I got a podcast. It's called Fast Ones.
Yeah.
My first guest on that was John Jones. I got Steve-O was on there. Riley Reed, adult entertainer, was on there. We've had some really fun guests on there. We've got a bunch of episodes coming out too. It's called Fast Ones. It's a show where we ask 10 questions in 10 minutes, and we do it on a treadmill. Every minute it goes up by 1 mile an hour. So we start at 1, we're just walking, and every minute it goes up by 1. So by the end of 10 minutes, we're doing a 10 miles an hour, which is a 6-minute mile. So we're cooking by the end of it. Sean, you got to come out.
I'll come out.
in LA.
Yeah,
come out on.
I will.
your show.
I'll try not to throw up like Steve-O.
Oh, dude, he was probably the closest to puking out. Yeah.
I love it, man. We'll check it out. We'll link the pod below. Thanks for watching, guys.